Oh, hello, it's Mr. Van Dong here with Distance Learning Week 4, Day 5. And today we're going to take the Chapter 11 math test. And before you take the test, I'm going to read all the questions aloud, just like last time. But I want to take a hot second to talk about why we're still giving tests. Because I'm sure some of you have heard through the grapevine or through your parents somehow that your report cards at the end of the year they might not have any grades on them. They might just be, there's going to be, I'm not sure exactly what grades will be there. But there will be like a written statement from your teacher kind of saying how you did on everything. And anyway, we haven't worked out exactly what it's going to be, but you might have heard, there's no grades, why do tests? Okay, so here's the thing. We never did tests for grades. This is for real. We never ever gave you a test just so we could give you a grade. That's not the point of the test. The point of the test is for you and me or your other homeroom teacher to know kind of where you're at. That's what it's for. It's still for that. So we're still taking this test. We're taking it the same way that you would in class, so that you're not going to use the internet. You're not going to use a buddy. You're not going to use a parent. You're not going to use your math book. You're just using you and a pencil and the test and show what you know. And the purpose of that is so that you know and that we know kind of where you're at with these standards, kind of where you're at right now with this stuff in math. That's all a test ever is. And in some ways it's kind of, well, this distance learning thing does suck and I wish that you were here. It brings up a good point about why we give tests. And I hope that you're starting, it's clicking. Oh, that the tests are for you to know where you're at, for your teachers to know where you're at so that we can help you learn something if you haven't learned it yet. That's all they are. So I know there's quite often, even as early as, fifth grade, people are like, what's my grade going to be? And they're worried about report cards and things like that. And your grades never mattered. They never mattered. Never once. Not yet. Your grades will matter on your report card in high school and in college. Other than that, they only exist for you to kind of know where you're at. And the reason, side note, the reason why I'm saying that they do matter later on is because if you're somebody who wants to go on to additional schooling after high school, whether that's college or a trade school, whatever, they're going to look at your grades from high school to try to see if they're going to let you into their school or not. So you don't get to just go to any school that you want after high school. You have to apply like a job and say, hey, can I go to your school? I want to go to your school. And if you've got, good grades, then you can go to more schools and stuff like that. But so your grades that you get on your report card, kindergarten through 8th grade, the only reason they exist is for you to know where you're at with the skills that you've been learning in class, and for your teachers to know that same information, and your parents or guardians too. But that's it. So, okay. I'm done talking about that. So let's talk about the Chapter 11 test. Yours is green and has the correct numbers. Mine has some wrong numbers on it, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to read all the directions. So I'm just going to go through and read it. If you want to, you can pause it after I read the problem and then answer it and then play it. I don't care. Or you can listen to all of them or whatever. So, but I'm going to read them all. All right. Chapter 11 test. I can convert measurements. Solve showing your work. Problem number 1, 95,000 meters equals how many kilometers? Number 2, 2.5 tons equals how many pounds? Number 3, 64 fluid ounces equals how many gallons? Number 4, 28 liters equals how many milliliters? Number 5, 28 feet equals how many yards and feet? Number 6, 75 milligrams equals how many grams? Number 7, 42 inches equals how many feet? Number 8, 19 pounds equals how many ounces? And then I can solve word problems involving converting measurements. Number 9, read each question carefully, writing your answer on the line provided and showing your work. Number 9, for a meeting, Mr. and Mrs. Gonzalez made 3.5 gallons of coffee. How many quarts of coffee did they make? Number 10, some of the tallest professional soccer players are 1 98/100 meters tall. How many centimeters tall is this? On the backside, number 11, Wally and Sharon are seeing who can throw a baseball farther. Wally threw the ball 35 yards and Sharon threw the ball 123 feet. Who threw the ball farther? How do you know? And after that, I can make line plots and use them to find fair shares. Solve showing your work. And this is number 12. Make a line plot of the measurements in the table, then find the fair share. Now, I'm looking at this. You see this blank line right here? That is for the title of the line plot. And I'm telling you that because I didn't tell you that before. Line plots, graphs need titles. So you need to put a title of the line plot for what that is there. Okay. Do your best. Finish the whole thing. If it takes you longer than 45 minutes, maybe come back to it and finish it later during like the homework section, because there's no on test days there's no math homework. So the amount of time that you would work on your homework, roll it into the test. Don't work on it for more than an hour. If you're stuck on a problem, move on to the next one. And if you've been working on it for more than an hour, I'm not saying, hey, set a timer and when it goes off, you're done. My point is, if it's hard enough for you that it's taking more than 60 minutes, it's okay. But you don't need to keep stressing yourself out about it. It shouldn't take that long, I hope. So have a nice weekend when it gets here, and I will talk to you next week.